We welcome all of you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Meeting for the 103rd time this afternoon from Jacksonville, Florida. The Bulldogs of Georgia against the Gators of Florida. Take a quick peek at the SEC standings as we begin this contest. Florida with a one-game edge over Georgia. Both teams have their own future in their hands. A lot of focus on the quarterbacks and the situations this week, but particularly in Athens, where Mark Richt, the Georgia coach, has indicated that he just might make a quarterback change.
You know, Vern, I get it. He didn't tell Allie, but he didn't trust us either. He would not tell us.
Notice that.
Keeping those cards real. I think it's going to be Fedone Balta will play a lot in this football game, and the reason is since Nick Chubb went down, the Georgia running game went down, and Balta will give them a way to run the ball. He's a lot like Joshua Dobbs, and Florida had trouble with that quarterback exchange and running attack. For the Florida team, we're going to see Treon Harris. We saw him a year ago. Remember this game, Vern? He threw 6 more passes than you did in that football game. They ran the ball. I think for Florida to win this game, though, Harris is going to have to throw the ball around 20 times.
They meet again in neutral territory. We'll be back with more right after this.
Country nation, that's right. It's the Dogs and the Gators, the SEC on CBS, the best game from the best conference.
Well, we might give the Florida Gators a delay of game penalty there, late coming out of the tunnel, but they have arrived. Take a look at that graphic. Last year, 418 yards on the ground in that pummeling of Georgia. Georgia leads the series. Florida doesn't count the game in 1904. The weather is just perfect. It's maybe a little touch warm if you live in Colorado.
It is a bit warm, to tell you. They're down on the field. I think it's of concern to Georgia. They believe, talking to Jeremy Pruitt, their defensive coordinator, that they do not have great depth on defense. He said he made a mistake against Tennessee playing his starters too long, and he will not make that mistake again. We'll see.
Florida won the toss, and they have opted to receive the football. Marshall Morgan will kick off for the Georgia Bulldogs, and the deep man is Brandon Powell, number 4 for the Gators. 6-1 Florida, 5-2 Georgia. Tom Ritter is the official, and we had something new, a clock malfunction, but it's been fixed. Half the fans clad in orange and blue, the other in red and black. 80,000 plus. Morgan, that's going to be short and returnable. Brandon Powell bobbles it. It's loose at the 15-yard line. Oh, boy. Gasps of relief among those who were dressed in orange and blue. Wide split. Harris looking all the way. Being pursued. Avoids the first man. Gets up the sidelines, and he might have enough for a first down. Taylor, a year ago in this game, rushed for 197. He gets his first handoff here, and he's got a huge gaping hole on the right side. Jake McGee with the block. Jordan Conquet is the running back. Play fake. It's lobbed out. One-handed catch by McGee.
I'm not surprised at all that Doug Nussmeier and Jim McElwain has come out in this game and tried to open up the game a bit with Treon Harris trying to kind of spread out that Georgia defense with the short passing game. Nussmeier, McElwain, and Jeremy Pruitt all know each other very well. Florida want to run it here. They've got number 80 in Lewis. They're blocking tight end.
That's Taylor in motion and sets up wide right. Harris looks all the way this way, and that is Sidante Lewis. Wow, what a run after the catch. DeAndre Gouldsby is split way out to the top. Harris, no pressure again. Oh my gosh. Tim Kimbrough, 3rd down 10. Roll up by Harris. Behind the receiver, Callaway.
A lot of poor throws. Even the pass to Lewis for the big pass on the tube. Remember, Jake McGee caught it with one hand. So far, Treon Harris has not been on target with his throws. You can see that Nussmeier and McElwain wanted to loosen him up and probably wanted to loosen up his quarterback. But Treon did not throw the ball accurately on that first drive.
Austin Harden, we thought he might miss this game with an injury. His backup, Jorge Powell, who had assumed his spot the last couple of weeks, is now out for the season. And this is a 45-yard attempt. No. Started right and stayed right. In the middle of this Georgia huddle, number 10, Fatone Bauta, is about to come on and make his first start ever for the Georgia Bulldogs. He's a junior, born and raised in Brooklyn. The family moved to Florida. This is the 7th game in which he has played as a quarterback. He's played in every game this year, but as the holder on field goals and extra points.
Yeah, that would be appeared, not played.
Okay.
Appeared.
You understand, from my perspective, he was playing.
Okay, this is playing. This will be playing today.
On the sidelines.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at this.
Wildcat, first play.
Yes. So Bauta is on the line of scrimmage wide to the right. Sony Michel in the backfield gets the handoff. Stiff arm, gets a good block on the edge. And here goes Michel. There is a flag back at the 29.
Well, on the pregame show, Coach Rick Neuheisel said coaches love to tinker when they have a bye week. They love to get in there in the garage and just change up, and you can see.
During the run, holding number 48, offense, 10-yard penalty for the previous spot, replay first down.
Well, that's on Quavon Hicks, the fullback. It wipes out a 27-yard run by Michel. Now here's Bauta, see if he takes the snap. Georgia Bulldogs, after the Chubb injury, and recall he was suffered the knee damage on the first play of the game in Tennessee 2 weeks ago. Actually, 3 weeks ago. Now Bauta. Played in 3 games at quarterback last year, 3 the year before, red-shirted in 2012. Michel.
Well, you can see Brian Schottenheimer has been aggressive with his game plan. First game play is a wildcat. Second play, you drop back and get your quarterback into the kind of the feel of the football game. And enters Brandon Douglas. And this is how I thought you had to replace Chubb. You do it with the whole team. You don't just do it with the tailback, Sony Michel. That's another penalty for Georgia.
That's on Colton Houston, the right tackle. So kind of a sloppy start.
75, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains, second down.
Handed off, Brandon Douglas.
And that was, I think, a good decision by Georgia. Concede it, punt it. You don't want Bauta early in a football game who has had no experience other than holding to throw a ball on 3rd and 16, 17 yards.
3 down. They might be bringing a blitz. They are not. Carter misses a tackle. And Harris runs out of bounds with a first down. That's Jeremy Pruitt, second year as the defensive coordinator for Mark Richt. Prior to that, defensive coordinator at FSU, and prior to that, Alabama. A lot of time, but the defensive backfield holds, and Harris is caught and dropped on first down. Jonathan Abram, who's getting the start. Harris. Incomplete.
That was a back shoulder throw that ended up being a front shoulder throw.
That's never helpful.
No, that isn't. Very good coverage to the outside of DeMarcus Robinson. He's matched up against Briscoe again. Watch. Good coverage, and boom. There was nowhere to throw the ball. A good, again, series by this Georgia defense.
And Gary, you can tell how anxious Bauta was to get back on the field. He did not sit down for an entire second, pacing the sideline, stopping by his position groups to talk with them briefly and make sure they were on the same page. He also had a few words with offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, but other than that, he was just pacing back and forth, ready to get out there.
Well, this year he competed in the Charleston Southern game and Troy, both victories, obviously. And here he is starting against Florida. First start ever. Roll out. Nice. Terry Godwin with the catch. Brendan Douglas is the running back. That's Christian Payne, the fullback. Payne leads the way. Oh, boy. Not very far. Antonio Morrison. Woo.
This Florida defense is very unique. You know, the front defensive linemen compare favorably to Alabama. Their linebackers are tough to block because they're so quick. You got Jared Davis and Antonio Morrison. Even when the linemen get up to that second level, these two guys duck underneath them and go backdoor. You saw exactly. Davis hit the play, and Morrison made the tackle.
Now it's Douglas behind Bauta. Oh, he doesn't get there. Fourth down.
And we talked about those front guys up there. Oh, and it's John Bullard. It is number 90. I think he is probably one of the best rush defensive tackles in this league. He and Jaron Reed, I think, from Alabama, are the best two in this league.
Vernon, Gary, we saw Sony Michel run off of the field. I did see the athletic training staff taping his right wrist. He put his glove back on. He went back in the game. Then he came back to the training staff. They taped his wrist again, but decided that it needed to be evaluated further. I'll let you know as I hear more.
Wow. Gary?
Well, he's had one run, the first run of the game. There it is. He kind of lands on his right wrist right there. This one was called back, and then he caught one pass.
Blitz threatened, blitz coming. A little late. But, oh, look at Harris. He got away for the moment, but then Davin Bellamy, number 17, gets the stop.
Again, the theme, I think, for Brian Schottenheimer in this game is we all have to replace our running back. We just can't have our tailback replace our running back. A little bit of everything.
Play action. Intercepted. Picked off at the 50. That's Marcus May's second interception of the season.
Well, this one, Bauta really thought Isaiah McKenzie was going to cross the face of the defender. McKenzie is coming across, and watch, when Bauta throws the ball, he believes he will cross the face of number 20, May. He never got to the spot. May beat him to the spot, and Bauta says, what? I thought I had him. That's good defense. That's a safety that understands the concept of the crossing game, and he must have read a little bit of a slow delivery because he jumped it.
Powell in motion. Harris, deep left side. Overshoots Demarcus Robinson, number 11. 4th down.
This is a little bit painful for both offensive coordinators. They cannot find anything to latch onto early in this football game. As I stand here and watch it, I just got a feeling it's going to be a turnover. I mean, because neither teams looks like, I would assume both offensive staffs will be conservative because they just feel that they don't believe the other team can drive the whole length of the field on them. They're going to force the quarterback to make a mistake.
Johnny Townsend with the punt. Fair catch again. Oh, bobbled it. It's loose in the end zone. Touchdown. Nick Washington recovered it. Number 8.
Going to wait for a mistake.
You don't need to pat yourself on the back. I'll do it.
And
nice call.
I hate to say who it is. Same guy we saw drop a pass in the Tennessee game.
Yep, Reggie Davis. That howl. Nick Washington fell on it, special teams player.
Just not knowing where you are on the field. I mean, why would have he even caught it? Well, it was on the 5-yard line. There's no need to even call a fair catch. Just get out of the way and let it land.
Totally agree. Austin Harden for the extra point.
Knocked down.
It's blocked. This can be returned. It's picked up. Reverse. Now they're trying to set up the wall on the right side. Out of bounds. Jonathan Abram. But it's 6-0, and there is a flag.
2 fouls on the play, both by Florida. Had an illegal block in the back, number 53, Florida. That penalty is declined by rule. We had a dead ball, personal foul, Florida. That penalty we set on the kickoff, number 98.
He got all of it right, but his direction, his compass is upside down.
We've reached the end of the first. Florida leads it 6-0. We'll return to Jacksonville after this message and a word from your local station. Bauta comes near side, caught by Malcolm Mitchell. And he works his way close to the first down.
Yeah, I think they need to go to the running game with the quarterback, the zone read. If Sony Michel gets back on the field, though, that will help Bauta on the play. But, you know, he got one.
He's back
there. Boy, I'll tell you.
Michel wide, or alongside, not wide. He's on the field. Bauta. Completed. Sony Michel. Let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Sony Michel went back into the locker room. They taped up his right wrist. They also taped his middle 2 fingers together on the right hand. He came back out. He took some passes from Grayson Lambert. He practiced handoffs. He decided that he was good enough to go back in the game. Also an update on linebacker Jordan Jenkins. He's still suffering from the groin injury he suffered weeks ago. They did intend on him playing today. It's just a matter of if they think someone else can do it better.
All right, Allie, thank you. Malcolm Mitchell wide to the right. Everybody else in tight.
Last time they didn't pick it up, remember?
Yep. Play action.
Wide open.
Bauta's got him open. Boom! Behind him.
Yep. Wide open.
Jay Rome.
There's only a few times in a game that a offensive coordinator can dial one up and give his team an opportunity for a touchdown. Okay? OCEs is what I call them. Offensive coordinator explosions. And Shoddy gave him one right there, and the quarterback didn't get it to him.
4th and 1. Georgia will go for it. They trail by 6. 3rd, 4th down attempt.
Just feels like they're outflanked here to the right, doesn't it?
Toss. Michel chased. Cuts it up. He's in trouble. And the trouble begins with Jonathan Bullard. And Taylor, the running back. That's McGee, the tight end, coming to the near side. Here's Taylor.
That was a great cut.
And he will face 4-man rushing. And that one, nothing.
Even if it was caught, Abram was going to eat that up. True freshmen have been prominently featured in this Georgia secondary here in the first quarter and a little bit.
Johnny Townsend, as Harris has now missed his last 8 passes. And Davis this time can't run. He runs away from it. And it bounces
it's better than the last one.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Florida's the only Southeastern Conference team in this league that is in the top 10 net punting in the whole country. Townsend is very, very good at it.
Jay Rome is the tight end in motion. From the end zone, Bauta lets it go. Caught by Mitchell. First down.
Well, let's give half of this completion to the offensive line.
And a first down out at the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. Here's Bauta rolling out, lobs it. It's caught by Jay Rome. That's fumbled out of bounds.
McElwain went for it against LSU on 4th and 10. No short drives.
Bauta behind the receiver, but he made the catch, and guess who? Malcolm Mitchell. Had 35 coming into this game.
And that's the formula that Jim McElwain told Allie at the start of the game. Let's not turn it over, make them take the long field and see if they can make 6 or 7 first downs going down the field.
Bauta. Watch out from behind. Watch out in front of you. Got to hold on to the ball. Reggie Davis with another drop.
Boy, that was a wonderful job by Bauta. He felt the pressure coming from behind, hung in the pocket that time. His own offensive lineman trying to clean up from behind, but a perfect throw. And Reggie Davis is struggling right now. He's feeling the pressure of making mistakes. Good job by Mark Richt right there. Pats him on the back. Or behind. A little lower than the back, it looked like.
Corner blitz coming. Bauta stands strong, goes man for man, right side. Hargraves defending. And it's going to be ruled incidental contact. There is no flag.
Caught it out of bounds, even if it was incidental.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a great matchup right there. 2 future NFL football players fighting on this play. Hargraves, Mitchell. Great position by Hargraves. Mitchell throws him out of the way and catches it out of bounds.
You see that incidental contact in the Georgia-Florida game. If you're looking for a definition in the SEC, that's it.
Incidental contact.
Third down, Bauta all day, goes deep, overthrown, incomplete, almost intercepted. Keanu Neal had a hand on it.
Brian Poole, those safeties and nickel backs for this Florida defense, they just seem to eat up all of these crossing routes. That time the ball was intended to Terry Godwin, but Brian Poole, number 24, was right there. Forced a high throw.
9 incompletions in succession. Now he comes bottom of the screen. Harris flushed out, goes to his left, lobs it deep. It's caught! Antonio Callaway! Touchdown! 66 yards.
You know how important 0 for 9 is? It's not. It's the next one.
Just keep playing.
Keep playing. Well, it's true freshman against true freshman. Jonathan Abram in the slot is going to end up having to cover number 81. Goes up. Watch Abram come up. Out there, but now watch the technique. This is a guy that understands football. He slows down and then catches it over his shoulder. Instead of running away from the ball and reaching back and allowing the defender by slowing down and let the ball hit him in stride, he actually shields the defender away. You can't teach it any better than that.
5 plays, 79 yards. Third down, 7. Bauta hit. That's up in the air. It's intercepted by Vernon Hargreaves. Hargreaves avoids the tackle from Bauta. Heads to his left. First and goal.
Well, Alex McAllister is the guy who got the hit on Bauta. Coming around the corner, McAllister reaches out. Watch him coming off the right side of the screen right there and reaches out and taps the ball. He gets his left hand on it. And then when Vernon Hargreaves gets the ball in his hand, he's about as athletic a player as we have in this league. McAllister does it, and Hargreaves gets it, and he almost takes it to the house. And the same formula that Florida has been using all year has come through again. They don't just turn it over. They turn it over in great field position. Remember, they already got one touchdown, and now on the 5 or 4 yard line, whatever it is.
In the backfield, leads the way for Taylor. Gets a great block in the end zone, and Taylor strolls in.
Well, you use all your tools, and Brian Cox, number 94, is right there. He looks to go block. He gets to the outside, and he goes, all right, I'll shove this guy right here. Whatever. I was supposed to help inside, but if there's nobody in there, I'll just shove the last guy.
And he did. Kelvin Taylor, 13 carries, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Florida up by 20. First down 10 at the 25. Bauta is still in there. Fatone Bauta under duress. Nice dive. He picked up 9.
And again, the formula for Florida has worked all year.
Third down 1. Bauta low.
Jeez.
Wow.
I would not be shocked. I mean, Bauta's done some good stuff, but you know, I remember when Alabama switched up quarterbacks and Jake Coker had to go to the bench. Remember when we talked to Jake, he said, I was ticked. I was mad, and I let Nick Saban know I was mad. And when he went back in that Ole Miss game, he's been a different football player. I'll tell you, this McElwain has produced a lot of 2-minute drills in his career. Now, he doesn't have A.J. McCarron playing quarterback for him. How aggressive will... Well, that's aggressive.
About that. Kelvin Taylor to the 47-yard line.
Now every play in the playbook is available. Leonard Floyd came around the back end that time. I think Bellany cleaned it up that time.
Here's Will Greer, starter for the year, suspended for violating the NCAA's policies. Suspended for the rest of this season and the first 6 games next year, but he is appealing that decision. And Jim McElwain telling us yesterday that he and the staff are helping with the appeal of a young man who had a good start this year, Will Greer. And the Gator fans applauding. Well, that's kind of an applause, I guess.
Well, from half the crowd.
Well, that's the end of the first half. 20-0 Florida. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. And it appears Fatone Bauta will come back in at quarterback as Georgia gets set to receive the kickoff that will begin the second half. Third down 3.
It took me 10 years to convince you, didn't it?
It did. I haven't mentioned the word momentum in the last 4 or 5 years.
This one might be a little high. That was not a sack, but there was pressure. And I'll tell you, coming inside, this guy, John Bullard, he stayed one more year to really get to be a better football player. And I believe he's earned more money playing in college than he would have played in the pros.
Harris. It'll be 4th down. Lorenzo Carter with a tackle. Oh, are they saying a fumble?
It came out.
Yes.
Georgia's going to get it.
Wow, that's the first turnover by Florida in the last 3.5 games in the SEC.
And throw him the ball.
Jalen Tabor defending him.
Oh, my goodness.
Terry Godwin. Play action, oh boy. Bauta shakes it. Delivers.
Oh, my goodness.
Jared Davis, number 40, almost had another interception.
Watch Baudu's reaction after he lets the ball go here. Just as he lets it go, he goes, oh my goodness. I might not be able to go home on the team plane if this one happened.
Georgia 1 of 8 on third down conversions. Morrison coming on the blitz.
Nope.
Bauda's got a man open. And it's incomplete. This is from 27 yards out. Marshall Morgan on 4th down and 4.
I'm surprised they didn't go for it, I have to say.
Well, they do get on the board.
It's a big win for the Florida defense.
Yes, sir.
And it could have been worse.
High snap again.
It's going to be a sneak.
Harris goes right, being chased and missed. Now he fires it complete to Jake McGee.
Well, one thing all of Treon Harris's teammates have said about him, okay, he might not be the prettiest, but he is cool under pressure. He's a guy that almost won the job.
Taylor comes left on his 18th carry. The ball game is it out?
Again. Yes, it is. Georgia gets it again.
Well, my gosh, how about that?
This one may be reviewed, though.
After review, the runner was down prior to at the 37-yard line. The clock will start on my ready.
On 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down. That's Jordan Cronkrite. Somehow they added an R in there.
I stay conservative until Florida. I don't want them going the short field. That's conservative.
Yeah, and it's also dropped. Antonio Callaway may have been a little behind him. 3rd and 1. Marshall is in at the running back spot. Play action. Bauta looks deep. No, that didn't turn out so well. Brian Poole for Georgia.
All right, this is a 2-man route. That means you got a quarterback. That makes 3. That means 8 people are blocking here. Nobody really open, and you get the first sack of the football game. Coming from a good coverage sack, and eventually you get them.
Fake. Ramsey, the quarterback, it's incomplete. I would say this, not much has gone right for Mark Richt and the Georgia Bulldogs in this game. Ryan Rankin, number 38, took his place. Play action, Harris. Lets it fly. Complete to Callaway at the 31. 2 wide receivers on either side.
Back draw.
Yes, Harris, oh boy. First down just outside the 10.
You could almost feel it, taking care of the ball. Remember they ran the quarterback draw when he fumbled it on a 3rd down passing situation. Doug Nussmeier comes right back with it. He said, listen, there's no way Georgia's going to score these points on us. Bauta down there.
Left side, Jordan Scarlett.
And this one will get to the 4th quarter with a 20-3 game for Florida.
SEC East standings as we begin the afternoon. Florida 1 loss, that to LSU. Georgia 2 losses, a thumping at home to Alabama, and a loss when they couldn't hold the 24-3 lead on the road at Tennessee.
Just remember, this was the year that Georgia was picked to win it, and Florida was supposed to be rebuilding.
We've reached the end of 3. Florida leads it 20-3. We'll return to Jacksonville right after this message and a word from your local station. My next tweet, by the way, will be my first. 3rd and 5. Whoa.
Not much there.
Jake Gaines. Adam Zucker back in our New York studio.
But Wayne's been good on 4th down, though.
Yeah. 5 for 5 over Tennessee. Here's Harris. Chased. Throws it into the end zone, and it's incomplete.
It's going to be a sack on the 21-yard line, I think.
Reggie Davis comes in. Here's Bauta. Fires it. It's caught by Terry Godwin. Bauta rolling out. Lets it go really deep. Caught! Malcolm Mitchell got on the ladder and went up and pulled it down. Bauta.
I missed him. Did he catch it?
Ooh, I think he... Yes. Godwin, number 5. Again, he's got time. He's in the end zone. This one, did he control it? No, he did not.
This might have been Tom Balto's best throw of the day. Great timing on the play. He knew where he wanted the ball to go to. Put it in a great spot. Defended well. Antonio Morrison very fortunate that he didn't get dinged. Here, Morrison gets his arm in there, but I don't think on first glance he caused the drop.
Pulls it up. He's pursued. He fires in the end zone.
Intercepted.
How about that? Keanu Neal. Interception, Florida. It was the most positive offensive moment in the game for the Bulldogs.
I think Jalen Tabor, number 31, tipped the ball. I think he knocked it backwards to Neal. Let's watch this play. Does Tabor swat it away? Yes, he flicks it out of the Georgia player's hands and swats it away. Look at that play. Malcolm Mitchell and Tabor fighting for the play, and it's not to Neal. Not your day. It's not your day, Pato.
And he'll get a rest now as Jordan Scarlett takes his place. Here's Scarlett up the middle, out of a tackle across the 50. Foot race. One player has an angle and he bumps him out of bounds. It's Malcolm Parrish, number 14. But a terrific run by the freshman Jordan Scarlett.
I haven't seen him in a while. I don't have it down anymore.
Kelvin Taylor gets the handoff, darts to the outside.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Nice. Talking about the quick feet, huh? They're back.
Really nice. 16-yard touchdown run. Kelvin Taylor.
Watch this. Tackle this if you can. 1. Woo. Malcolm Parrish thought he had an angle, and he just barely touched him.
Bauta tipped, incomplete. Well, Mark Richt is in his 15th year as the head coach, a remarkable record, but has had problems in games of some magnitude. Watch out. It's intercepted. That's 4. This one from Jared Davis.
Trying to dump the ball out to Brendan Douglas that time, and Douglas cannot handle. A little easy pitch catch. Might have been, 6 inches too wide, but in this game, every ball that's a little wide or a little high goes to the Gators.
Last time they scored less than 10, in fact, it will go back to 1969. They did beat Missouri 2 weeks ago, 9-6. First time in 20 years they had a victory without scoring a touchdown. That was against Kentucky in 1995. So the offensive woes for Georgia continue. Scarlett.
Good job to give Scarlett some opportunities to run the ball. I think McElwain understands that for Georgia to win the championship, you're going to need two backs.
Well, Austin Hardin has been the place kicker, started as the starter this year. We thought he might not be able to play today. And earlier in the week, this tweet went out. Last week, I beg your pardon. All call for kickers. They're looking for walk-on players. Visit the football office. And so initially we were told 215 or so showed up. And then Jim McElwain talked to the hopefuls. They had to go through a tryout process. And here's the guy who won it, Neil McInnes. And we thought we might see him today. Austin Hardin was able to go, but McInnes, a pretty amazing story. Here's the handoff to Taylor. And let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. McInnes has been quite an athlete his entire life. Letter winner, football, soccer, track and field, even marching band. In high school, he also graduated valedictorian. Now, I got to talk to his father, Michael, as they were driving to the game today, and he said it's kind of like a Visa commercial today. I've spent $240 on tickets, $74 for parking, $175 on Gator apparel, but seeing my son play in the Florida-Georgia game, that's priceless. He had a great sense of humor to him, and they're very proud to see their son out there, even if he doesn't play.
Well, Jim McElwain needs to let him kick a field goal or an extra point. Just round out the story.
Good idea. Interesting.
No knee.
Yeah, it is very. I don't get that one.
Mark Herndon.
Oh, they just wanted to get a run for a young player. There you go. So they didn't get a field goal for the guy, but they got a run for someone else.
McInnes will be able to tell his kids after he becomes a dentist, that's his aspiration.
Right, there you go. You know, a picture of him in that Gator uniform will be on the wall. When you're leaned back and he's drilling, you're going to be able to see that picture of him in that Gator uniform.
Take away the pain of a root canal.
Unless you're a Georgia fan.
Yes. If he gets out of dental school and heads to Atlanta. McInnes. An Eagle Scout, by the way, just to round out the resume. Well, thanks to our guys in the truck, led by Craig Silver, Steve Milton, our guys upstairs, Chuck Gardner, Butch Baird, Dave Moulton, and the rest of our 70-plus person staff. For Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Jacksonville, where Florida wins it big. The Ram Post-Game Show is up next after these messages and a word from your local station.